So, and I'm going to rename myself. All right. And there's Johnny. Welcome. Mary Hansen has her first Wednesday every other month saxophone rehearsal, so she won't be with us, but I did have a chance to talk with her this afternoon. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go. You're Peggy now.
Yep. 6. And there's Deanna. Deanna, can you take notes? That would be wonderful.
Oh, yes. I'd be happy to, Peggy.
And I did not, I mean, when I sent the reminder today, I meant to say if you wanted to invite your friend that's going to join us, you could. But of course, I was behind on my homework for an anti-racism class that was from 2 to 4 today. So
Oh,
I had to
no,
finish
no,
my
no
chapter.
worries. And she has a, she's the youth, she helps with the youth on Wednesdays. So.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't have worked
Yeah.
for her anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me see.
Thank you, though.
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think that everybody is here. Byron will just brief Jill, I'm sure. Or actually, if you could have Byron, Jill come join you so everybody can meet Johnny as our new member of the team. And I will start. What I'd like is for people to say their name, what their connection, if any, with Seeds of South Sudan, and what you, why you want to go to Kenya, and or any goals, anything you'd like to accomplish. So I'll start. I'm Peggy Gonder. We've been sponsors since 2016, and John is on the board, and I do communications. And I wanted to go to see the kids again. I went in 2017, and to see our students and to just strengthen our connections. So Tom, you're next on my screen.
Okay. Well, I'm Tom Pond. I've been a sponsor. This is my second year sponsoring a child at home base. And I just don't like to throw money at things. I like to throw myself at things. So I want to see what's going on and get a feel for the operation there. And I've been to Africa once, South Africa. And so looking forward to go again and visiting a new country. So we love.
And you're now treasurer of the board. You're on the board and treasurer.
On the board.
Yeah. Okay, Byron, you're next.
Okay, Vice Chair.
Oh, you're eating, sorry.
Byron Flaitland, I'm an engineer, software guy by background, technologist. My wife is a nurse. She'll be going along on the trip and doing the health screening with the students. We there are 2 high school graduates, one in university and one in a trade school, and then we sponsor a girl who is in 10th grade, Form 10. So we have a number of connections to Africa. Our youngest daughter was an exchange student in Ghana when she was a junior in high school in 2006. And then I'm on the board of another NGO called Angel Covers. We sponsor a school for the deaf in in Nairobi, Humble Hearts School for the Deaf. So we visited there in 2009. And then just subsequent to that, our youngest daughter adopted a wonderful little girl from Ethiopia. Now 14. She was 3 when she came here in 2011. And then I've been involved with Seeds since I suppose about 2015 when I first met Iraq at a talk that he gave. And with our interest in Africa, it was a natural attraction. And then subsequently I joined the board. And so I'm a photographer. when we do a lot of international travel, so I do a lot of photography. I want to take a good, nice quality portrait of each of the students and as many high school graduates as we can meet up with. So those for our files and future publicity. And then I'll be assisting wherever else I can. So that's a short story made long.
Very good. Ed, you're next on my screen.
Okay, I'm Ed Holroyd. I'm a retired scientist and retired grad school professor. And I was at Arvada Covenant Church long before Iraq showed up there. And so I've known his story from that perspective ever since. We became a sponsor of a child recently. I plan to be there in the September crew for all 4 weeks. And I'll be photographing and making video clips of whatever I'm encountering, and also be available. I'm also a bird watcher, so I'll be shooting birds and recording them, and a bunch of other things too. I was in Kenya for about 4 or 5 days in 1970, a long time ago, and we enjoyed our time there.
And Ed and Byron are planning to go to Kakuma
Yes.
before the rest of us get there. Johnny, introduce yourself. Oops.
Hi, I'm Johnny. I actually graduate high school next week, so that's pretty fun. I thought it'd be nice to go on this trip because I've never been to Africa before, so I thought it'd be a good experience to see new things and meet new people.
And
Very
we
good.
need help with luggage.
And he's going
He's
with
strong. Show him your muscles, Johnny. Come on.
Yeah.
Give us-
All right.
He'd be the luggage man.
Yeah.
Great.
But
Well,
I
that's
think,
great, Johnny, and congratulations graduating.
Thank you.
yeah, Johnny is 17, so I think he'll relate very well with the high school kids.
He
so.
just turned 18.
Oh, 18. Stand corrected. Okay. Deanna, you're next.
Okay, great. I'm not going to tell my age.
Oh. None of the rest of us have, so.
Okay, good. Okay, well, I'm president of another nonprofit, which is called Hands of Hope for South Sudan, but we got involved, we met O'Rourke when he first came over, and we got involved with Chol and Dang in 2007 and started supporting them, and all the way through, of course, now, they've graduated, and Ding is actually in South Sudan right now. And so, yeah, we have always loved seeds, and I've always tried to support it in some way, and love what they're doing. And I was in South Sudan in 2011 with my nonprofit, and we were building a school. We went in, but kind of behind another nonprofit that built a medical clinic, and then we built a school. So this trip, me and another YWAM missionary are going in, meeting O'Rourke. We want to, of course, see where he goes to seminary, but we're probably the first of the trip, from talking to O'Rourke, we'll go into Karkuma refugee camp, because when I was over in South Sudan, we didn't get to go into Karkuma. So we'll probably go into Karkuma. Our nonprofit just recently, after talking to Peggy and O'Rourke, gosh, back in November, right, Peggy? We decided, our nonprofit was trying to build a container to take into South Sudan. And as you know, violence has been breaking out, and it was just impossible to do it. So we decided to pull 4 kids out of the refugee camp in Karkuma and support them at Roots. So our nonprofit is now supporting those 4 kids. So yeah, and my daughter too went on the world race. She's going this summer to Togo, Africa, and she was in 2019 was in Swaziland and South Africa. So yeah, we're kind of have a little bit of, everywhere in Africa, it seems like. But yeah,
Great.
but thank you. Like I'm looking forward to the trip. It's coming together, and we'll probably just go into Roots too, just to see who we, how we can help Heidi and Sue there. So.
And do you have your dates finalized?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I thought I gave to, so it's July the 4th through the 18th. We actually get in July the 6th. We have to go through Cairo, Egypt. I used points, and I'm thinking maybe that wasn't the best thing. Because I have all these stops. We actually get in to Nairobi the morning of July 6th, and then we leave July 18th.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the confirmed dates.
For Johnny's benefit, there is a smaller group going in July, and Deanna and her friend Corinne are coming kind of partway through, and so they're going to be doing work with Sue Counterman and Alan Farb and Linda Farb. And Linda, are you on? I guess I need to get, yes, there you are. So anyway, most of the group that's on tonight are going with us in September, but Deanna is sort of our liaison to the other group, but Linda is too. But Linda is on for a special reason. She's created the career game. So Jerry Lou,
Nice.
yeah, your turn.
Let me unmute here.
Sure.
I'm Jerry Lou Moss. I live in Arvada and friends with Jill and Byron Laitland. And my husband Mike and I have been supporters of Seeds for about 3 years with a young boy, and I think he's at the 4th level, 4th or 5th. He's a youngster anyway. I'm a retired teacher, mainly elementary. So I'm hoping I can help with some of the education elements. I have been to Africa, but it was South Africa, and that was quite a few years ago with my husband. He passed last year, so I'm really excited about being able to go with friends and see what I can do to help. I'm looking forward to it.
Great. And Linda, rounding out.
Hi, I'm Linda Farb, and I'm a retired medical researcher. So you kind of get the idea that when you retire, if you save your money, you can do all this wonderful stuff like traveling. And I've been supporting Seeds of South Sudan since I met O'Rourke, and I think it was in 2015. And I think we started with one student in 2016 and then added another student last year. So we have 2 young ladies. I got involved because I was working with an organization called the Coalition Against Global Genocide, and I met a lot of Sudanese refugees from all over Darfur, the Nuba Mountains, and of course, South Sudan. Well, yeah, what's now South Sudan. I went with my husband in 2018 and met the home base staff and about 30 of the students, and it was amazing. We were there for a safari and added on the time to go to Nakuru, and we realized at the end of the trip that those 2 days were better than the 12 days on the safari. So there you go. So we're going back.
Very good. Well, I will put up the agenda. We'll see how my skills, I have about a 50% success rate at sharing my screen. Let's see. Tom, did you make me a co-host, or how do we want to do this? Let me see if, oh, hold on. Let me close that, and I'm going to minimize that. And let's see, share screen. host disabled participant share screen sharing. Do you want to let me screen share, Tom?
Tom is muted.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'd rather share something else later. So let me just,
Okay, you are now the host, so.
Now
you-
you're the host,
oh,
Peggy.
okay. Let's see if I can screen share. Let's see. Share screen. Okay. Let me get, I just had it. That is Zoom. Let's see. Okay. Now I've highlighted it. So now what do I need to do, Tom?
Share your screen on the bottom there.
I had,
push the
okay,
green
I
button that
share
says screen.
screen. One participant can share at a time. And then maybe I just navigate to the other thing that's open. Okay.
Make sure it's showing on your screen first and then hit the screen share and it'll share on all of ours.
Okay. Yeah, the problem is when I do this, then I can't see the share screen on the Zoom. So, okay, let me, I was doing the carrot rather than the arrow. So one of these days, by the time we go, I'll have this mastered.
Okay, we're
I'm
seeing,
impressed already.
Yeah.
we can see a screen now.
All
There we go.
right. So we've already did the introductions, and now I'm going to have Linda talk about the career game. And then after tonight's meeting, I will send you the rules that she's written out, because this is one of the things we're going to do next Wednesday, the 11th at the retreat. So Linda, take it away. I guess you'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a blind deaf cat who decided to come into the room with me and start
Oh.
screaming.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, let me,
She's
by way of
really
introduction. Oh, go ahead. Are you ready?
Okay, I am ready.
Okay.
So what we decided was that we should have the students learn about different careers and ways that they can move ahead with their lives when they finish their 12th grade. Some will be able to go to university, but it does get expensive, and others may want to do a trade. So in Kenya, there's like 4 or 5 levels. You can get a tech certificate. You can get a 2 or 3 year diploma. And then of course the university levels that are similar to the US. So I came up, well, with help, we got 60 jobs or careers, including things like a doctor, medical, dentist, nurse midwife, chef, vehicle mechanic, shopkeeper. We have a bunch of oil-based jobs, which I guess are still going in South Sudan. I don't know how that's working out with war. And then some technical things like an economist, a medical laboratory technologist, mechanical production engineer. And a lot of the jobs I looked up in the schools and universities in Kenya to see that they had programs. So I usually add that, and each of these will have 3 or 4 clues so that when they play this game, someone will read the clues, and then the students who are playing would try to guess what the job or career is. And Byron is going to do the digital production on this, put all this, the words will be on one side, and on the back side of each card will be a picture of the flag of South Sudan and the name of the game. And Where are my rules? Sorry, I lost the page. Okay, so the career game goes like this. 3 or more people can play at a time. There can also be teams if you have a larger group of 4 to 5 people each. And one person will be, an extra person will be the moderator who reads the clues on the side of the card that they can't see. And each team will go one at a time, try to guess what the career is from the clues. And they'll get a score of 2 points if they answer within 3 minutes. We decided they should have a timer. And if the student can't figure it out in 3 minutes, then someone from the alternate team will get a chance, but they only get 1 minute because they've already had time to listen. And let's see, then if they get it after that 1 minute, or in that 1 minute, they get 1 point. So there'll be 2 different ways to score. And then the moderator will read the next card clues to the next player and just go back and forth from team. I called them teams A and B. Did I forget anything? And then at the end of the time, or when all the cards are finished, the team with the most points wins the game. So we have 60 careers right now, and the more I look, the more I want to put in, but I've kind of run out of time. So
I think 60 is good.
yeah.
Well, thank you for all the time you put into this. And I will send out the list of the 60 careers and the rules, and we're going to do a dry run at the retreat. So the time that worked for the most people is next Wednesday, May 11th from 9 to 12. And Johnny, I know you'll still be in school or taking exams or something, but we will have a second retreat in the summertime. So if I can get Doodle to work right, we'll figure out another time.
So Peggy,
yeah.
just to confirm, the time is 9 a.m. to 12 noon, right?
Correct.
Because I've seen a lot of times flying around the last couple hours.
And I apologize. First time I thought, book it. And I must have had the mouse on February 13th. So the first thing that went out was not even the right day. But then after that, when I first logged into Doodle, I didn't notice that it was set on time in Switzerland. And but I thought I had fixed that, and everybody voted and the times were correct. So when it went book it and it said 9 p.m. to 12 a.m., I don't know why that happened. I don't have a pro account. I just have a free Doodle account. But yes, it is next Wednesday, 9 to 12. And the address of Tom's church was.
I have to get that confirmed.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Which I will do tomorrow morning for sure.
Okay, that's right.
I was waiting for the right time and date.
Okay. Well, and yeah, we can send a follow-up email about that.
But it's going to be at my church, which is in North Glen, right off of Irma Drive and 104th. It's 1800 East 105th Avenue. So you just go down 104th to Irma, go north on Irma, and it's right there on the corner.
And just for those who are not that familiar with North Glen, so I think the numbering starts at I-25. Are you east of I-25 or west?
It's we're east of I-25, but it doesn't start at I-25. It starts somewhere else.
Oh, all right.
Right around there. I don't know.
Well, it's roughly I-25 on 104th to give you sort of a sense of where it is. Right. And Irma is not a street that is found anywhere else other than North Glen. So, but it's close to Washington, right?
Well, it's about a half mile east of Washington.
So that'll give you a sense. But he's given you the zip code, so you can MapQuest it. So, so we will Byron is going to run at least one set of the cards. And I don't know, will you have time to do two, Byron?
Oh,
You
yeah,
think?
it's a matter of plugging in 2 instead of 1, and how many copies do you want?
Okay, all right.
You want 2?
I think so. We might
Okay.
wait. If you're doing the two, I think we'll have the design for the back by Friday. Or, I thought Linda and I can talk with Wendy. Wendy Satsky, board member and visual artist, has come up with some designs. So we're going to get that finalized, and then he's going to run them on his computer. And my thought is that, so we'll see how the rules work, nothing like doing a dry run to figure out what is working. And
Yeah.
I'm going to get down to the retreat. Well, and thinking about which times we're going to have with kids and whatnot. And Jerry Lou, I'd love if you could work with Mary Hansen. She's on a couple of exercises. Now, we may not have it by the 11th. Mary was saying maybe she would get with Heidi Shriver, who was a longtime elementary principal in Cherry Creek and is the one who proposed using thinking maps. So so we're going to talk now about careers and interviewing that Ed Holroyd and Tom Pond are going to work on. And Ed has had some time to research it. So Ed, tell us what all you've learned about the resources that were recommended to us.
Okay, from many months ago, there was emails that gave access to teachers paying teachers, and they had a guide for like this, and I got a copy of it, a few dollars, and on each page there are various aspects of getting ready for a career. There's a resume basics, about 4 pages of that, cover letter stuff, preparing for interviews, and about 5 pages on that, employment application, just very standard stuff. And the stuff on the pages is fairly simple, and we just need to make it to fit within the time that we're allowed over there.
So just to put this in context, we know the kids need practice interviewing and speaking English, because every year the top scoring girl and the top scoring boy go to Kakuma refugee camp and go through a series of interviews to see if they can get full ride scholarships to Canada. And we have 3 kids right now. John Madiop, who is one of our superstars as far as grades in school, had started medical school in Kenya, but then got a scholarship to Canada. And now he has going to graduate this spring with biochemistry, I think. Byron, does that sound right?
I believe so, yeah.
And so anyway, we've had, so he was the first one, and then we had a gap, but then a year ago, Jacques Macharjak and Amour Mamer went through all the interviews, and they started this year in British Columbia and Alberta, and they're all in different provinces in Canada, so they're pretty far apart. But there was one girl who went through the and it's like a year-long interview process. One of them did fine on the written application, but she failed the interview. And what Arak said was, well, she doesn't speak up, and I think she was just a little shy. And so we were thinking, well, all the kids will, unless they start their own business, they're probably going to need to do an interview at some point for South Sudan. And certainly, so we'd like to talk, probably the resume part is not as critical as the interviewing and, you know, how you come across expressing confidence and things like that. So I will bring up the schedule. I just, right before our meeting, printed out the times that we're in Nakuru in bright yellow to think about how we want to structure our time. The one person who couldn't be on tonight, Mary Hansen, was an elementary teacher and special ed teacher and music teacher. And she was saying, well, I don't know what, and actually Byron had expressed this too. Let me back up a second. So talking about, I asked Byron, Arak, what he thought the kids needed. And he said, well, for them to do better in school. And I said, oh, you mean study skills? And he said, yes. And so that's where we kind of went down this line of thinking maps. But let me back up and go back to Johnny, because I did call him at 5:30 to make sure he'd gotten the Zoom invitation, and said, think back to your freshman year of high school and your friends, and what did you not know that would have been helpful to know that maybe we could impart? And we'll have about 4 days with the kids, some more social and other more instructional. So Johnny, I gotta find you. You're not on my screen. There you are.
And that was on taking like notes and stuff, right?
Yes, anything you think would make. So one of the things the kids struggle with is math in middle and high school, but just in general, where you think it would be, what kind of study skills do you think we ought to prepare to take?
Type of studying skills that I use that really helpful to me, or I like to go home and use like my mom or my brothers and sisters, and not like make like different note cards, or like even like we get like popsicle sticks and we'll write different names on them, and like or like a question on it, and on the back will be the answer. So you'll pick that one and then you'll read it and you'll think about like the answer, and then before you flip it, you'll try to guess the answer. So those are good things. Math is always hard for me because there's always like steps, and steps are always long and stuff. But for math, for me to get through math, I think it just always like I always try to like ask on to my peers and stuff for help.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
like the only way that really helped me with math.
Well, it sounds like with the popsicle sticks and flashcards, you're thinking of ways to review content before you take a test. Is that okay? Well, and one of the things that Mary Hansen had mentioned was a memory castle, that if you think about a room and the 5 things you need to remember, or the 9 things, and you put one in this corner and one on this chair. And she said, it's amazing when you make that visual connection, how you can remember it. So it does sound like, what about taking notes? Do you think do you have much lecture instruction in high school, Johnny, where you like studying history, or is it more out of a book?
It's more out of a book, but notes actually do help a lot, because when my teachers are talking, I'll just doodle little stuff down, and it helps out a lot. So I feel like with the kids, we'll have to teach, like, I feel like it'd be good to teach them like to take notes, but how to take notes. Because at first I used to take notes about what everything the teacher wrote down or said.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to like shorten it so where it makes sense to me, but if
Mm-hmm.
someone else looked at it, like they could understand it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's great. Well, and one of the things, I reached out to about 5 people that I know who have been teachers or principals, and one's an instructional coach. And the stuff I was reviewing from Beth, the instructional coach, she had some things, they call them concept maps, where I was thinking of these maps as ways to teach instruction, but it was more like reviewing for tests. And so one of the concept maps was here's the main idea and here are the supporting ideas. So maybe if you're having a history test or science test, that you kind of organize things. So, I think what we can do is, so maybe note taking is important, and memory and organizational skills, I think.
Microsoft has a product called OneNote. I'm going to be bringing 3 laptops and they'll all have Microsoft Office on it with OneNote. For me, it was wonderful for collecting my notes and organizing them and then searching them and then studying for the test. So maybe I could do a little presentation on that
That'd be
using
great.
OneNote to keep notes on your laptop. Because
Well,
in my opinion, it's a very underused product of Microsoft.
yeah,
Most of you probably haven't even heard of OneNote.
I've heard of it, but I switched to Mac in 2013, so I never.
Yeah, you speak another language.
Well, I think it would be fine as a visual demonstration, but none of the K through 12 kids have their own laptop. We are
Okay.
collecting computers and Chromebooks for the college students to use. So they kind of take notes, I think, in pen and pencil, probably.
Sure.
But maybe, so is the idea with OneNote looking at organizing your thoughts?
Right. It's like Word, but it organizes the documents and you can search them.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a filing system.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And you can, of course, do graphics in it and everything else, keyword searches.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Apple used to have a product. What was it called? Some kind of a note card thing.
I know Apple has key something that's like PowerPoint, but I'm not sure what the one is for organizing files. Okay, well, let's think about that. That might
Excuse
be
me, what was the name of it? What was the name of the
It's called OneNote. It's a
OneNote?
Microsoft
Okay.
product. It comes with Office, all the versions of Office for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Maybe only 10,
Thank
but
you.
great product. At the end of my career, I was putting all my stuff in there, and I frequently had things that I'd have to do once a year, and I couldn't remember what I did, And OneNote allowed me to store it and keep it and find it quickly when I needed it, because I put
Sounds
keywords
great.
around it. It was just great. It uses an inverted B-tree search algorithm.
What we might think about is doing a presentation with the college students, because there are college students who are coming back for the health screening, and there are a couple that are going to school in Nakuru. So maybe we could think about doing that for them if they have access to, and they'll have Microsoft Office with the ones you leave behind. So
I was going to bring with me a small projector so that I could project into a teaching environment.
Great. That's wonderful. Well, and Ed had wanted to do a weather presentation, but they don't have the right kind of freezer at home base. But if at Rift Valley Sports Club, it's a top loading freezer, is that right?
Yes.
He generates snow, and he's done this with 6th graders and whatnot. So
I'll bet most of them have never seen snow.
right. So that would be kind of a fun thing. Well, let me get through this document, and then I'm going to bring up the times, and we'll get back to more of how we want to spread our time. We're going to be there parts of 4 days with the kids. And one of the things that when I was talking to Mary Hansen, one of the thinking maps that I had thought we could use, Rock had said, so the kids have to take an exam at the end of 8th grade and then the end of 12th grade. And in 8th grade, they have some multiple choice and some writing. But at the end of 12th grade, it's all writing. And they're having to remember things that were 4 years ago. So I think taking notes that they can go back and review would be really, really helpful for them to learn. But I mentioned to Mary that maybe she and Jerry Lou could come up with a couple of writing prompts so kids would have experience with this bubble thinking map. If you think about a daisy with a circle and then 4 or 5 petals around it. So if the prompt on the exam says, I don't know, I can't make up something, but hopefully they would be given a writing assignment. And then if they've had practice doing this, it's a way to organize your thoughts, especially if they're writing longhand and can't, copy and paste, to make a little thing that, okay, here's the thing we're talking about, like doctors, let's say, and then you put things around it that would be descriptions, adjectives, or something that helps you organize. And I said, they need to use it once, to remember it, where they could use it later on. And she said, well, that would mean that we'd need to look at the papers and give them feedback. And originally we were going to have study skills the very last day. So we need to think. And she said, well, won't they say that's too much like school? So the other thing we talked about, she said, is there an opportunity where we can just talk one-on-one with kids? And I think there will be times that we're going to do social things. So let me get through the travel recommendations. So with Kaiser, you go through, you can have an appointment with a travel clinic 8 to 12 weeks before your trip. And John and I are leaving May 31st for Europe for 2 weeks for our 50th anniversary, which is why we need to do this in May. And then we'll get together again closer to the trip in July or early August. And so I have some travel recommendations that I will send you from Kaiser specific to Kenya, because John and I had back-to-back phone appointments and we finished the questionnaire. And there are some things when you go to the tropics you need, like hepatitis A, hepatitis B, take malaria pills. And some things are good for life if you've been there before, but other things you have to renew. My tetanus is only good for 10 years, so I'm due for a tetanus shot this year. So I will send that out for everybody. And also, I will send a form to everybody. I think I sent it a long time ago, but now that we're down to the countdown, if you all could get that back to me in the next couple of weeks with your your name, your passport number, any medications and that sort of thing, and a copy of your passport, so that if something happened to you or your passport, I will have a copy with me. And you do need to get medical evacuation insurance, because I'm responsible for all 9 of you while you're the days of the mission trip. I need that. So if something happens, we can do something about it. So that's the travel recommendations and trip requrequirements.
And Peggy, can I ask you a question about that?
Sure.
I think I did this with Israel last year when I went, but do you just add the evacuation insurance? You just add an addendum onto your insurance, don't you? Don't you just call your...
No, it's a separate policy. So there is a company, the Flaitlands have used it too. It's called Travel Guard. We have insurance with USAA. If any of you been in the military, you can get a better rate and your own line of communication. But so you can insure the cost of your plane ticket if that's all you want to do, because we don't really have to pay lodging and the transportation and everything till we get there. Those of you going on the safari, we need to be getting the deposit into Partnership for International Birding. But the So with the travel guard, and the price is according to your age. So it's a lot less for Johnny than it would be for me. And, you know, the standard policy is, you know, X, and then, you know, you have all these other things like cancel for any reason that goes up. And so if you've gotten your plane tickets, it's time to get your travel insurance. So
Okay, okay.
because actually they
I will call them.
yeah, so travel guard, well, you can look, and I'll give you a link that you could look at. And Byron, do you remember the other company that you use? Because when you used Travel Insured to go to India, but somebody else more recently, I think.
Yeah, I don't recall that we've ever used medical evacuation insurance, but there's a couple of companies. Travel Guard was one. Our Safari company recommended it, but we're not very risk averse, so we shy away from insurance, but only when it's absolutely required.
Well, and you usually are traveling independently, so
Right.
yeah. So okay. So I've kind of already talked about the curriculum for the mission trip. So let me bring up, now I need to get the other form, and then let's see, do I have to do stop share to switch documents, Tom? Not necessarily. Tom must be muted.
Hey,
Okay.
Peggy, let me
Yes.
ask you real quick on the forms. So you need passports, flight information. What else was it?
It's you'll get a copy. Well, it's medications or medical history. So things.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, you know, that's more detail for the safari, and I did it some
Well,
time ago.
I'll at least give you my info.
Right. Okay. So here, is this the one? Let's see.
Peggy?
Schedule. Can you all see my
Hey.
screen?
Yeah, it's up.
Mission time.
Yes, that looks
Meet
good.
with students. All right.
Peggy?
Twice in a row. Yes. Do you need to ring off?
I do need to ring off, and just a reminder that the Kenyan visa is good for 3 months, but I recommend that you give yourself several days to get it all together, because you have to take a picture of your passport. You have to take a picture of the front of it and the inside page and your photo. And then you have to have a document that's also a JPEG of your confirmation of where you're staying. So, and they want really small files, like 290 kilobytes
Oh
for
my
these
God.
photos. So just a little warning, it takes a little time. It's kind of a tedious process, but they approved mine. It was done overnight. I had it in the morning so I could print it out.
Wow.
But
So
I
did
was
you
just working
submit
on
that
mine.
electronically?
yeah,
Yes.
you do it online on their website. So Deanna, since you're leaving in July, you might want to do that.
Yeah, I started
soon.
working on it today, Linda. Thank you, because I was asking Byron about this. The only thing that I didn't have was they wanted the host, I guess, a confirmation number from the hotel. I don't
Right.
have that. So I had to stop. Anyway, I emailed the hotel. Yeah.
Africa Hub.
Africa, yeah. And so hopefully I'll get that, and then I can finish it. Is that all they want, is the confirmation number?
Yeah, I had Sue take a picture of it off of her computer screen, because we just had an email that he said, okay,
Okay.
you're
Okay, that's what I wondered how.
Screenshot then.
yeah,
showing
the
it.
only
Yeah.
that's how it loads in, with a little JPEG. So anyway,
Okay. Thank
Have a
Oh,
you.
good-
thank you for bringing that up. Is it the
okay.
Kenyan embassy in DC? Is that who you go through?
Actually, it's a little different than it was in 2018. It's called e-Citizen. If you just
Yeah.
put in Google Kenyan e-visa or Kenyan travel visa for a US citizen or something like that, it'll come up.
Okay,
If you go to Google, there will be all kinds of private companies that try to represent themselves as
Yeah,
government, and they'll charge you way more. You have to make sure you get the actual government site. Otherwise, you're going through a middleman that'll cost extra and probably more delay.
good point,
Yeah, because
Byron.
it's $51 is what I noticed. Is that correct, you guys?
Yeah, that sounds
Yes,
right.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll get, and Peggy, I'll text this site to you because I was just on it.
oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, or you
Yeah.
could include it in the notes. That
I'll
would be,
include it in the notes. Yeah, that's great.
that sounds perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Patty.
very
for
much.
bringing that up.
okay.
When
So
I
for
look-
Bye-bye.
Yeah, when I looked at the requirements, I noticed the 90-day durability of that. And so I thought that means I must delay until late June or something like that before I apply. Otherwise, it might expire before we get out.
That's
Yeah, I
right,
thought about
that's
that
right.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll want
Yeah.
it to be, you know, mid-July, mid-August, mid-September or something. I'm assuming the dates are not beginning of month, end of month. I guess Linda may have rung off by now. but-
No, I don't think so. I was just mentioning it because I knew Deanna was going earlier.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, the rest of you guys have time.
Okay. And
We'll
yeah,
touch
Byron, you
base
sent
again.
some links a while back. Was this one of them or was it for other things? Was it the travel requirements?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh,
I was thinking you
No.
sent something a week or two ago with 4 links to
I might have
information.
sent something, but it was way more than a week ago. It's
Okay,
beyond my immediate memory.
all right.
But yeah, one point, make sure you don't apply to the visa for the visa too early. So you have like a week or two after you expect to leave the country, just in case there's some kind of crazy delay.
Yeah, that's a really good point because any of us are not going to be there longer than 21 days. So you want your 90 days to probably run till the end of September. So maybe July, August,
Yeah,
September.
or longer, because we're staying almost till the end of September. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
a couple of weeks after.
But it doesn't run, I mean, you can specify what your start date is, right? So it could be July 10th through October 10th or something like that, I'm assuming.
I don't recall. I think it's from the time it's issued, but I could
Right,
be wrong.
okay. Well, we need to kind of brainstorm. There are, and I'll try to, maybe I can enlarge my screen so you can see more days here.
And Peggy, can you email me this and then I'll just
Yes,
copy? Yeah.
sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just copied and pasted from the longer document that I sent a couple of months back that says mission trip itinerary, September 22.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, if you want to
Yeah, just
embed that in the notes, I'd be happy to mail it to you. So I'll
Thank
email
you.
that. So we want to have some social time with them where we're doing kind of a cultural exchange, and we thought we would do that on the front end. And the schools, let me see, one thing I didn't copy because I was trying to simplify it. The school break is September 17th to the 25th, and the 17th is Saturday. So we are coming in on Thursday because we want to go to Roots Academy while they're still in session. But that afternoon, and I will get with Iraq well before we go, just to make sure who's going to be there, you know, ahead of time.
I thought we were meeting with the university students before September 15th.
Yes, that is in Nairobi. I'm only
Right.
focused on the Nakuru part of the
Okay.
trip because that's where the Nairobi stuff is going to be pretty well set, because that's when our planes land and we're going to have a dinner with the students. So this is just once we get to Nakuru,
Okay.
because we decided let's spread this over 3 or 4 days. And one thing Iraq had said, well, the kids are under a lot of pressure. They're normally have a whole month off. They're just going to have a week off. So we were going to not try to hit them for a whole day of training, but I think the study skills, if we want them to write something and then for us to give them feedback, we're going to have to do it before the Monday, which is when we had originally said. So let me sort of run through this and then leave the latter part up. So Thursday, you have to allow at least a half a day to get from Nairobi to Nakuru. So that afternoon, we could either relax or we can meet with the high school grads and seed staff at home base, introduce ourselves, play games like soccer or something. But, and obviously we can kind of look at Rift Valley and see what other materials we need. But I think we're going to have time in Nairobi to buy any materials. For example, if we wanted to buy for our presentations, I'm drawing a blank on the thing that you make notes and then you rip off a page. What am I trying? Flip chart. You know, we can buy that sort of thing probably in Nakuru, definitely in Nairobi. So if we need to do some of that, we could do that first day. And we had all discussed that the kids are coming back and it'll be kind of a reunion because all the high school kids go to a different schools all over the country. And so we thought the first day we would do dinner at Rift Valley. And that's just simpler. But so that afternoon would be an opportunity to do something with the older kids. Now there used to be a large number of high school graduates at home base, but it was costing Seeds $100 a month to feed them. And so most of them have gone back to Kakuma to teach because they have, 12 years of schooling, and which is a lot more than some of your other volunteer teachers. So, but there are at least 2 high school grads that are going to school in Nakuru who will be there. So I think probably at this point, let's just sort of leave that first day open. And so that Friday night, so Friday morning, we'll go to Roots Academy for a half day. It's 1,000 student school and there are lots of buildings. And so it's a nice opportunity to see where all of our kids start for K through 8th grade. That afternoon, all the K through 8 kids will be home. Some of the high school kids might be there, but a lot of them will probably be traveling back because I see the first day of the break is actually that Saturday. So we could start doing that Friday night informal conversations. One of the things we want to do is give them practice, particularly the older kids, in English, maybe so anyway, so we've got Friday, then Saturday, and I don't think I highlighted anything here on Saturday. I'm not sure. There we go. So Saturday, getting acquainted. So we thought we'd kind of start soft, not be come on strong as far as teaching them things. And we had planned, we need to do the health screening on the weekend because the medical students are going to be coming in from Nairobi on matatus, I assume. I think all of them, whether it's nurses or pharmacists or medical students, are all in Nairobi, aren't they, Byron?
Yeah,
Or,
Alair Jock, B.R. Weck is in first year pharmacy. And then I'm unclear on Awut, the nurse. Has she graduated now?
I don't think so. I think she's only had, maybe she's in her second year. Yeah, okay.
So she'll presumably be there then?
Yes, I would think so. So
Right.
and we can verify with Sue where she is in school.
Yeah.
Maybe you could ask her that Saturday. I will not be at the board meeting or email her. So, so what we had planned was Saturday, we're gonna do the health screening, only needs about 3 hours. Do that in the afternoon so the kids have gone to school all day Friday, get on the matatu Saturday morning, and that gives them time to get to home base and presumably get something to eat, and then we'll do this health screening. But even after the health screening, dinner at home base. And one thing that I did not, I have mentioned early on, but I haven't mentioned recently, is that I'm asking every participant to make a $300 donation to Seeds of South Sudan for use for things like paying for the dinner for the college students. Anytime we're eating there, you know, we're another 10 mouths to feed, 9 mouths to feed. So that, and I'll put all of that in a letter. Need to get that a little more formalized. So the opportunities to do maybe some of this instruction, whether it's depending on when the high school kids get back, and maybe I can set up a time to talk with Dang on WhatsApp about, you know, where the high school kids are and everything. But so Saturday, we had originally planned to do like share songs and dancing and do the healthcare screening in the afternoon. Maybe we should plan some of our content Saturday morning. So kind of hold that as I go through the next 3 days, and then I'll just sort of open it up for people's suggestions. So we were going to have them teach us some songs, dancing to music. Mary Hansen is going to bring a bunch of recorders. So, and that's something we could do Friday afternoon with any of the kids that are home from Roots that wanted to learn keyboard or recorder. And maybe we could do some kind of small group conversations on Saturday. Originally, we were planning the career game for Sunday, team share. So that's when we do the What's My Career game that Linda was previewing, and in small groups. But, you know, if we're going to have 2 teams with 4 or 5 kids each, that still leaves a whole bunch of other kids that we can do other activities with. So I think Sunday afternoon is another opportunity to maybe do some more of this study skills content. And then our last opportunity to do stuff with them is this Monday, September 19th. We were going to reserve space at Rift Valley Sports or a local hotel. I have time management, which was something that I had thought about with leadership training. I'm not sure whether the other group is doing that, so I will clarify about that. But I think what we want is, and so I had separate training for high school and up. We have 79 kids who are K through 12, and the younger kids, there are a few 8, 9-year-olds, but most of them are probably 10 and up. And I need to get that breakdown. I'll do that before next Wednesday. So, you know, when we do study skills, I think we should have an elementary focused study skill and the secondary study skills, and maybe we can divide them age-wise, where we're going to do so if we waited till Monday and we had them write something, we don't have any time to grade it. So I'm thinking maybe we need to do that Saturday and maybe save Monday to do more interviewing. And I don't know whether we want to do the careers game on Monday instead of Sunday. What do you guys think? When do we, so we have 3 areas of content. I think we have elementary study skills, we have secondary study skills, both, and note taking could probably apply to both elementary and high school. We have the interviewing for the older kids, and if we want them to do some resume preparation, it may be pretty far off for them to be thinking about interviewing for jobs in South Sudan, although we now have 2 college graduates that are, well, three people who are, 2 who are working at the seminary, and 1 who is in the job interview process now. So we have kind of 3 blocks of more academic content. When should we plan to do those? What days? Do you think Saturday is too soon? Don't all talk at once. I understand. Maybe you haven't had a chance to think about this.
Peggy, are they in school all week before we get there?
Yes, they will be getting out that Friday. And
Then you
probably
said-
the Roots kids will be half a day Friday. So Saturday, probably we shouldn't plan anything very heavy duty because that'll be
I
their
think
first. Yeah.
That's what I agree. I think lighter, social time,
Mhm.
they're gonna be tight. They're gonna wanna play
Right.
Yeah.
and relax.
So probably the writing exercises on Sunday, then we have Monday to grade them.
Yeah. Okay.
We could move the career game to Monday, because that's sort of fun as well as educational.
Well, we could even do the career game Saturday because when people are not doing the health screening, I mean, that'll be a certain group at a time and the others would either be waiting in line or something. How did you guys structure that at Angel Covers as far, or the Humble Hearts?
Oh,
That you brought them by class probably.
I'm not sure it was that organized.
Oh,
I think we could pretty well specify maybe by age and then have a one age cohort be done with the health screening and photography, and then they can go and play the career game or something, organize it like that.
well, and part of the original idea, since we're total strangers to almost everybody, I've been there once, but I think everybody else will be brand new to them. So maybe we just focus the morning on more of a cultural exchange. We could do some, have them teach us songs and dances, and we could do some sing along, maybe songs that all of us know, but then maybe the career games could be Saturday and Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you getting this down to Deanna? That would be helpful. I'll say cultural exchange, health screening, and oh, I know. We could use that Saturday afternoon, that after people go through the health screening, or if they're not going to be due for an hour, then they go over to the English conversation area. And maybe we think, have Jill think about the 9 of us. If we don't all 9 need to be in there, maybe she uses 5 and then 4 are over here doing the some English conversation or getting acquainted.
Yeah, I think she'll want 4 people that are not necessarily skilled in healthcare, and then on the station 3, which is screening for diseases and such, it would be Jill, Alir, and Bior, and maybe a Woot, the medical.
Awan, AWAN, Awan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can handle the healthcare. So 4 non-healthcare people would be adequate.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. Well, maybe at the retreat, then we can talk about structuring the English conversation, and Mary has taught kids recorder and reading notes and things like that. So maybe we offer that on Monday also, because that could either be a cultural exchange or a fun thing. So English conversation will be Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday people can go to church, and then in the afternoon, maybe that's when we do the study skills, kind of really dive into that. Right? Or at least we do the writing prompt.
Yeah.
How's that? Study skills. for the writing and taking notes, maybe. And then Monday, we could do some more of these thinking maps around, well, and that could be when Ed and Tom do a session with the older kids on more formal interviewing skills. And I've done some speaker training, so I can share some stuff with you that I have. In fact, I could bring that Wednesday and we can talk through, you know, what we think is applicable and what isn't. So Monday, thinking skills for math, because I don't know that we need to grade anything that they do there. Either Sunday afternoon or Monday, we can do thinking skills for math, interviewing skills. And then what else did we have left? Oh, the cards. We can do the card game on Monday, career game. And then Tuesday, some of us go to Lake Nakuru National Park. I think Tom and Johnny are going to go you're going to Kitale?
Kitale, yeah.
And Byron, you all are doing that before Nakuru, is that right? Or the clinic?
No, we're flying to Kitale on the 21st and returning the 23rd.
Oh, okay. And I think so, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, the group will start going separate ways, and we'll need to get all that worked out as far as our lodging. So, okay, I think that is everything.
Could you send this document out in an email?
Sure. Yeah. Do you want the shortened one or
No, the full
old
version.
one?
The full Monte.
Okay. Yes, let me plan to send that Friday with the updated schedule about when we're
Good.
going to do things. So, and actually I'll get Deanna's notes. Deanna, you needed something for me. Oh, you know, rather than trying to incorporate this in the notes, other than just say Monday career games, Saturday health screening, and you know, you could just do that like kind of bullets, and I'll put it into paragraph form. And we'll see how our notes compare.
Yeah, I hope I got everything here.
Well, I appreciate your capturing it.
Don't appreciate me until you see it.
Oh, well, you've done great so far. So let me just go back to the other document, see if there's anything that I intended to cover. So we talked about where the retreat is. So just so you know, we will need another time together because the Flightlands are leaving on the 18th of May. We're leaving on the 31st. So we've got this block of time, mid-May to mid-June, when some of us, a chunk of us, are not going to be available. I thought we could try to bring the group back together. We can, in the meantime, kind of be refining these units where we're going to be delivering content, and then do a second retreat late June, early August, and I mean late July, early August. Maybe August is better, but we'll have to see what people's schedules are. Ideally, if we could have Linda Farb or somebody that was there, we can kind of debrief about what they've learned about the kids. I think that will be enormously useful. And Deanna, if you're back, that would be great to have your input as well. You're coming back like the third week of July, I think you indicated.
Yes, like it's the 19th. Peggy, do you want to try to schedule? Are we going to have another Zoom call in June, or is everyone gone? Or
well, I would have to do it the week of June, after June 12th. I would say the week of June 20th, if we wanted to try to get everybody together. Let's see, you'll still be here. So yeah, that might be good. And just kind of update.
Possibly, I was just going to put it on the notes, possibly June 22nd.
Sure.
I'll just put it on the notes and then we.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Are people going to be traveling in late July, August? Anybody planning any other trips? No. And Johnny, are you going to be working part of the summer? Or do you?
Yeah.
He hopes to be, he doesn't have a job yet.
Right, right. Okay, so afternoon would definitely be better for you. Because I think it's important for you to be there if you can. Okay, well, since Doodle has turned out to be rather challenging, what I was thinking is I might send out something with these other notes to say, rather than doing Doodle, just say the weeks of, and then maybe I do a little grid or something and say who will be around the 3rd week of July, the 4th week of July, and the first 4 weeks of August. I don't think we want to do anything any later than probably the 2nd week of August, because when we start doing a dry run, we're probably going to have to go back and tweak things. So, and you all, the Flaitlands and Ed are leaving, and Jerry, like around the 28th of August. So it would need to be the week of August 1st, August 8th, or August 15th. So, you know what? I'm just going to do a little survey, and you guys can just reply back and say, here all week, gone this week, or, you know, something like that, that I can at least kind of have an idea of where to start, because still you're going to have doctor's appointments and stuff like that that will get in the way. But rather than trying to look at 5 weeks, just see what makes sense. Does that sound reasonable
Yep.
as far as scheduling the second retreat?
Question, as I understand it, you are doing the bookings at Africa Heart for us based on what we've emailed you, right?
Yes, and I have not done that yet, but I
Okay.
will definitely get on that. So have you already lined up your other?
Yeah, we've got everything lined up except the 2 nights in Kitale.
Okay, yeah, I will plan to do that in the next week. Get the
Perfect.
and reach out to Kevin. Have you communicated with Kevin about the time you're going to be there before I arrive?
No, I should probably drop him an email and let us know. There's several days we probably want just some touristing for Bill and Jerry Lou while I'm gone in Kakuma and so forth. So,
Well, you and I can, you know, collaborate on the side on that.
yeah.
Yeah, and Peggy, I need to contact him too, right?
Yes,
For-
yeah, you
yeah.
definitely want to use Kevin. He's our
Yeah.
driver. And
Okay.
when the full group is there, we may need more than one vehicle. Oops, I went back to the wrong thing. All right.
Byron, are you familiar with the Katali Club in Katali?
No, I haven't looked at Kitale at all, other than my wife being in contact with our clinic guy there, Julius.
That was the hotel that was recommended to me.
Okay, that's good to know.
Katali Club. Apparently, it's very similar to the Rift Valley Sports Club.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, so the Rift Valley Sports Club is not open to just anybody. You have to be a
Right.
member of the club, and we usually go through the guy who owns Roots Academy. So I don't know whether you can stay at Katali or not. Maybe you could buy a 1-month membership, then you can use it.
I don't know.
Yeah. But if,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah.
I'll look
that's-
it up and then,
Yeah, let me know what you find. I haven't really done much research.
yeah, my wife can ask Julius about it as well, because he lives there and he might know.
Right.
Okay,
No,
because we're looking for a place to stay too.
yeah, yeah.
Right. And is that where the prison ministry is, or is that the
Yes,
one
it's in
Nairobi?
Katali, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I can't seem to get the curriculum for the mission trip to move up. So I don't know whether there was anything I was gonna say that the page goes away. So anyway, does anybody have any questions? We have 9 minutes left, or we can end early since I'm gonna see everybody next week. Well, we will definitely plan to do I will get the updated schedule of when we have blocks of time to do content. We're going to do the run through of the careers game and maybe talk through. I will try to coordinate with Arak. Maybe I can talk to him Friday morning or Monday morning about updated information about what we're thinking of doing with the kids. So, and Ed, did you have in the document that you got the teachers, paying teachers, had some good information about note taking?
No.
Oh, okay. It was more resumes and interviewing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, career readiness is the top overall title.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think we do need to work a little bit on interviewing. And Tom, did you do interviewing as part of your work?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you can come up with some tips, 5 or 10 tips about.
I'm a little nervous about the cultural differences, though.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I was just gonna,
Yeah.
oh, sorry,
go
Peggy.
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we did, when the guys first came over here, the Sudanese guys, we did kind of one thing that we had to teach them that it was interesting, because in their culture, they don't, you guys know this because you've been there, but it's disrespectful to look in people's eyes. So we had to teach them when they interviewed, like, look into people's eyes,
Yeah.
we kept having to remind them of that because that's very rude for them. Like, you guys know. So that was a really important thing that we taught them when they first came over. And then the second one was not arguing with the police, but that,
Well, that's good.
What about their concept of personal space? I mean, that's something that varies across cultures.
Yes, very
I
good.
don't know if you've ever been to the Far East, but I mean, their idea of personal space and ours is very different.
Yes, very true.
Well, what would you say about that? Because that would be important for us coming in.
I don't know. I'd say I'm nervous about it. I know I have my personal space, but like Sino-cultures, they jump right in my personal space, and it's very uncomfortable for me.
Right, because Japanese, Chinese,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people there, so they crowd into elevators and things.
I don't know. I can do some work on that, but the cultural differences. Maybe we could find somebody that's cross-cultural and just interview them. Talk to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. Looking in the eye is very important in the Western culture.
Yeah, and that was not. We had to teach, and a firm handshake, because they were very kind of timid about that. I mean, it was very simple things, but things that were different culturally. So.
Handshaking. I don't know what the culture is there, but for that, that's sort of.
I mean, though some of the people aren't some of these kids interviewing in Canada?
They would be interviewing with Canadians in Kakuma. So
yeah, so we can teach them Western cultural values.
But the ones for Pastor Heidi would be a good resource.
Okay.
For that. Maybe we could set up a time, or I can connect you to, and she's in Kansas City and she's a morning person. So maybe you could just set up a time because she has a wealth of knowledge. She's been to Sudan probably 10 times and knows a lot about their culture. So why don't I connect you with Pastor?
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, that would be great. And then I don't have to worry about it. You guys get it all figured out. Yeah, so I think we could say interviewing tips, and then North American versus
cultural differences.
Kenya. Yeah.
What I'd call that.
And the cultural differences might be as much for us.
Oh, yeah.
And
for
then
sure.
but definitely with the kids. Now some of them Queer is one of the 4 college graduates. He has gotten a Bachelor of Economics, he is applying for grad school, and he will need a scholarship for that, for economics. But he was also looking to work for the UN. So some of these kids might work for Western oriented organizations. So I think that's probably valuable for all of the kids to say, now, when you're dealing with somebody from the West, or international NGOs, this is important to know. When you're interviewing in South Sudan, this is what you need to know. But yeah, I think Pastor Heidi would have, and maybe you can do some handouts, Tom.
That'd be good, yeah.
So would you have time to talk to her before next Wednesday?
Sure, I'm retired,
All right, great. So I will connect you tomorrow morning.
All right, just send me a contact and I'll reach out.
Absolutely. Okay, sounds good.
I was going to ask, oh, sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Oh, I was just going to, another topic. I briefly looked at the power requirements. They use the English G plugs, just like in English.
Yep.
240 volts, 50 hertz.
Well, and there's several places. There's a place in Boulder. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's a very clever name that sells those kind of plugs, but you can probably also buy them online.
But for most of your appliances, except hair dryers, all you need is the plug, because the voltage,
Right.
Most American things, except for hair dryers or hair curlers, can handle the 240.
Well, and while you're talking about that, something that I have found very helpful is something called no jet lag. 3 words. It's homeopathic. It really works. And what you do is it helps your body adjust to the time zone when you're crossing a whole bunch of time zones at once. And so if you take a pill on the plane just before you take off, and then every 2 hours that you're awake, you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to have one. But when you land in Europe and it's 9 in the morning, and then you probably need to keep taking it until you get to Nairobi. I was much more rested going than coming home. The no jet lag was in the wrong suitcase. I didn't have it. And I had
where do you
really
get that,
bad
Peggy?
jet lag. But I have used that going to Australia, New Zealand. It really works for me. And you can get that. Changes in latitude. That's the name of this travel store in Boulder. In latitude. But definitely the no jet lag. And then it's the British plugs. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a G. It's a 3-prong, 240 volts. So what I do is I just bring an adapter, not a step down transformer or anything like that, and then a United States power strip, and I plug my power strip into the adapter and then plug all my devices into that.
I love it.
Travels well.
Yeah, you can get all that on Amazon cheaper than any store.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
But that G plug is so universal in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And of course, all of those East African countries were British territory.
Yeah, but not many of them. I looked at the map, and Nairobi's stuck out like a thumb as being an English plug.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yeah,
and the other places, what?
It's different. Yeah, it was different in South Africa. Totally different in South Africa.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they were settled by the Boers, the Africans.
Yeah, well, they're English too, but they use basically the French plug, but it's a little different diameter plug. It was a mess, but we got it worked out.
Well, definitely Kenya, Uganda.
I don't know. I looked at the map.
Rwanda are all, former British colonies, all the ones in that bump that go out. So
but anybody that has a question about that, except for your hair dryers and curlers, and I don't use them. I don't have any hair, so it doesn't matter.
No, that's a really good thing to put in the notes, especially for Mary, who couldn't be here. Deanna.
But,
okay.
My wife was actually able to find a hair dryer that was compatible. You just got to really look at the product,
Tom, email me that information. I
Okay.
just have G plug. I want to get it more specific in the notes.
Oh, okay.
And then what about the cell? Because last time I went, I just bought a little flip phone in Nairobi. But did you just like, Byron? Did you just take out your SIM card? Did you just buy a SIM card, or do you have international?
We have T-Mobile, which has great international coverage, so we didn't bother with a separate SIM card. And then my wife uses WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, that's what I have. Okay.
So your
Yeah.
T-Mobile worked fine, Byron, in Nairobi?
I believe so. She does all the phoning, so but she didn't really have any trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
And you might just, so did you guys do the international plan for the couple of months you were going to need it?
For T-Mobile is included
Yeah.
everywhere practically. 'Cause
Well,
they're-
we're on T-Mobile, and I thought you had to pay an extra
Yeah, we
10
did
or
too.
$15 a month for when you
not-
want. Maybe
not that I'm
that's
aware.
calling from here over there.
Yeah, yes, that's the case. My wife got some kind of a plan to talk to Julius because it's cheaper for her to call him than him to call her. And they talk every Friday about the clinic. So yeah, she has that $10 or $15 a month plan for that. But while you're over there, it's so much per minute, but you got coverage with T-Mobile anyway. Because it used to be Deutsche Telekom, so they're much more internationally oriented than AT&T or the others.
Okay.
And Deanna, depending on the age of your phone, when we went to Australia in 2018, we did get a SIM card at a grocery store, and then we were able to just make local calls there. So you might look into, I don't know. And
Yeah. Okay.
Sue might be a resource, or Pastor Heidi hasn't been in a couple of years, but Sue was there in 2019. So
Okay.
you have
When we went to Israel, Sharon had a newer generation phone than I did. Now, my phone didn't work properly, but her phone worked fine. Same carrier.
Yeah. We were in last year when I was in Israel. I just used WhatsApp and just only used my phone when I had Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
can do that.
Yeah. But I didn't know, I didn't know, like in Nairobi, well, at the hotel they'll have Wi-Fi, but
Yeah, for sure. But I guess the Wi-Fi is kind of spotty all over Africa.
yeah, it's not, it used to not be the greatest. What about, did you have trouble, Byron, when you came back in with a COVID test, getting a negative COVID test before you coming into the US?
We had our test at the hotel. Most large hotels have an arrangement with a local lab that can send somebody over.
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay.
But it was pricey, right? It was,
yeah, about $100.
well,
Sure, the
if
hotel
there's an
takes us.
alternative, we'll see what we can find out. Or
Who knows
Hotel
what it's going to be
takes
like when we
small-
go, though. It's up in the air.
Right.
I'm praying that they drop it since the
Amen.
mask requirements.
I think they will, but who knows?
Yeah. Because we're going through, like, we have a 17-hour delay in Cairo, Egypt, and they're requiring, and I'm thinking, how am I gonna?
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to have
I mean,
it.
because I'll have to have it, when I go into the US. But I'm leaving Nairobi, a day before, 2 days before. I don't know. Have to
Yeah,
think about that.
I sent you an email on that. If you still
Oh,
have-
thank you, Byron.
I
Thank
can
you.
contact my travel agent. She's very knowledgeable on such things.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Well, good. I think we covered a lot of good information here. And
Yes.
Johnny, it's nice to meet you. You've met everybody
Yes,
but Mary
Johnny.
and Jill. So
It was nice to
7
meet
out
you
of the
guys, too.
9.
And Peggy, I'll reach out to you tomorrow by noon with the confirmation on the room.
Okay, great. That sounds good.
And Tom, just send me that plug thing. I'll put it
Okay,
in
for
the notes.
sure. I got it written down. I wrote it down.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Nice
Okay.
meeting you, Johnny.
Nice to meet you
All
too.
right, look
Good
forward to seeing
evening.
you next week.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.